If you look up at night, the stars move together as if painted on the inside of a massive spinning globe. We call this the celestial sphere, and it follows a reliable, predictable eastward pattern across the dark sky. But every so often, a bright red dot breaks the pattern. It slows down, slams the brakes, and drifts backward against the fixed stars. Astronomers call this backward drift retrograde motion. Ancient observers mapped the skies for navigation and agriculture, so a star that refused to follow the map was deeply unsettling. They singled out these rule-breaking objects, naming them planets, a word derived from the ancient Greek term for wanderers. That ancient sense of mystery hasn't entirely faded. When Mars slips into retrograde, it creates a unique event that bridges the gap between the hard physics of our solar system and the deep mythological traditions of human history. To understand the physics, we have to establish the baseline rule of our solar system. All planets travel in direct motion, orbiting eastward around the Sun. From a top-down view, Earth runs on the inner track, moving 24% faster than Mars on the outside. Every 2 years, Earth laps Mars. As we speed past, our line of sight projects Mars against the distant stars, making it appear to slip backward. This is orbital retrograde, and it is entirely an optical illusion. You have to distinguish this from rotational retrograde, which is when a planet actually spins backward on its own axis, like Venus does. Mars never actually reverses its orbital direction. The backward drift is simply a grand trick of perspective, dictated entirely by our own planet's relative speed. The peak of this lapping event is called opposition. This occurs at the exact moment Earth sits directly in a straight line between the Sun and Mars. Our next opposition happens on January 16, 2025. Because Mars will be sitting directly opposite the Sun from our perspective, its entire Earth-facing surface will be fully illuminated. The visual impact is striking. Mars will hit a magnitude of -1.4, shining as brightly as Sirius, the brightest star in the sky. If you have a telescope, you can even catch a glimpse of its white polar ice caps. Opposition is the ultimate celestial viewing window. It takes the abstract math of orbital physics and turns it into a brilliant, naked-eye spectacle available from your own backyard. Long before we understood those orbital mechanics, ancient cultures had to process a sky that occasionally seemed to change its mind. They looked at the looping path of Mars and tried to extract meaning from it. In astrological systems, this physical slowdown was translated into a psychological mandate. If the sky is retreating, the thinking went, humans down below should also pause, step back, and reflect. Astrology specifically characterizes Mars as the inner hero. It represents a person's raw energy, their drive, and their capacity for direct action. Under this framework, retrograde triggers a hero's journey. During the transit stretching from late 2024 into early 2025, astrologers view this as a necessary period to audit your own life, reassess hasty decisions, and check your selfish drives. They even define a climax to this psychological cycle, called Maximum Frustration Day. The math lines up perfectly. This day of peak internal blockage occurs on the exact same date that Mars physically opposes the Sun. These cultural systems function as a mirror. They hijack the mechanics of an astronomical optical illusion to schedule and enforce a period of human self-reflection. Today, when the red planet goes into retrograde, the night sky is being watched by two very different audiences at the exact same time. On one side, astronomers use telescopes to measure the Martian North Polar Cap and track incoming dust storms. On the other side, astrologers track the transit to map out personal inner drives and emotional roadblocks. Both of these perspectives serve a clear purpose. One provides the rigid coordinates required to navigate the physical solar system. The other provides a psychological metaphor to help us navigate ourselves. So, when you look up at that bright red dot in January 2025, appreciate the dual nature of what you are seeing. This cosmic race produces a profound optical illusion.